hearing me, but you're not feeling me.
We're hitting nothing but dingers here.
Boy, crikey, that's a great point. Welcome to the Weekly Chaos. We are coming to you at the speed of sound from the Hexapod Soundhouse in Cleveland, Ohio.
I'm Nick.
I'm Luke.
And I'm DJ Showtime. Big shout out to our returning listeners and a koi hello to our new friends. Weekly Chaos is a headline news show that's all about variety, being eclectic, and seeing the world from different angles. We don't know where we're going, but we're coming to you faster than you can say.
Follow us on Facebook at Velocity Chaos Pod, Twitter at Velocity Chaos P, and on Instagram at Velocity Chaos Pod. Also drop us some stars on Apple Podcasts, some love on Spotify, and tons of stuff on the YouTube. Thank you, as always, for your support. Let's go! All right. If you haven't noticed right now, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see that we have one less member in the studio, but he's still here with us. Coming in from South by Southwest, we have Nick remotely joining us, and he is going to hit us with that weekly box office update. Nick, thank you for tuning in and getting here with us. We appreciate it.
Wouldn't miss it for the Weekly Chaos. So this show's coming in from Texas, from the Deep South. It's time for the weekend box office report, hosted by the Weekly Chaos. The weekend in question, March 10th through the 11th. Number 1, Scream 6 sees Jenna Ortega and Ghostface send up a shrieking $45.5 million in its opening weekend. That's enough hair-raising for a franchise best. Number 2, Creed 3 continues to land body blows with another $27.1 million in week 2. That is enough to launch the picture into the $100 million weight class. Number 3, the film 65 gets caught in the primordial ooze during a survival of the fittest weekend and just manages to claw out $12.3 million in its opening weekend. Number 4, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania continues to drop mass with $7 million, nearly breaking the 2 Benjamin mark with $197.9 million cumulative across 4 weeks. And number 5, Cocaine Bear continues to find the honey with another $6.2 million and brings the cumulative to a roaring $51.6 million. So that's it for the top 5. I always run 6 through 10 just to round up the top 10 over the weekend. So Jesus Revolution continues to hang on, made another 5.175. I include that because this film Champions released and made 5.150. So they were $25,000 apart. Jesus Revolution's cumulative today is about 40 million in 3 weeks. This would be number 8, Avatar: The Way of the Water, 2.7 million over the weekend, 674.6 over 13 weeks in North America. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish comes in at number 9 with 1.6 million over the weekend. Domestic cumulative 179.6 over 12 weeks. And Operation Fortune: Ruse de Guerre, 1.2 million. Its cumulative is now 5.5 across 2 weeks. That's an Aubrey Plaza thriller. And then I also just like to toss in some honorable mentions. The Quiet Girl, we talked about that last week, where it had a really nice PTA to open across 6 screens. It's since expanded to 244 screens and made $437,000 over the weekend. So Neon is continuing a prestige play here, doing a stepped release and expanding it.
Do you think that that Scream 6 is going based off of Jenna Ortega's current fame from Wednesday, or is it the Scream series that's bringing in the hot stuff?
I think it's a perfect combination. I think with her kind of morbid turn as Wednesday on Netflix in a Scream film, it's like the perfect blend, and audiences, I can see a big audience liking both. So I just think it was perfect timing for the producers of the Scream franchise.
Yeah, that makes complete sense.
Say raking in that good online fame, baby.
Yeah,
but they did a good job. I mean, they brought in like Hayden Panettiere and Courtney Cox back for their roles and their characters. So they really went all in on this one. And the Scream Cave, as I call it in the trailer, I haven't seen the film, but it was like the Bat Cave, but for Ghostface.
just sideline note, you think James Cameron's just really struggling to pay his rent? I mean, $674 million. That's just terrible. Some guy's got to pay.
It's so tough. Just making that from the U.S. box office. Yeah, who cares about the international being like 1.7 billion? He's essentially just renting New Zealand right now, and that's a hefty price. That's a pretty tough lease to pay, over 12 months. That does it for the weekly box office report.
All right, let's get into it here. We're in March. We're in the middle of March. We got the madness coming. It is hot. It is wild. The action is not stopping ever because this week, March Madness kicks off. I don't know if you guys are ready or prepared for all this basketball coming at you.
I'm going mad over here. I'm building brackets. I'm bouncing balls. I don't know what to do. Actually, I'm not really doing any of that stuff, but you tell me about it.
No, I'm not doing nothing about it either. I just thought it's something that the people want to know. You know, they got first round starting 16th and 17th this week. So if you don't have your brackets in, you know, by the time you're hearing this one, you know, get it in there, get it in, slide it in. You only got a couple more days left to hit that action. And you know, if you want to gamble on NCAA, they don't advocate for betting on your brackets, but you know, if you so choose, you know, you can find a group of friends that's, you know, hey, you got $5, I'll take it.
I accidentally dropped some money on this spread.
Yeah.
Accidentally, huh?
It just fell out of my pocket onto the Kentucky.
So I was looking at some old statistics here for the March Madness bracket. Odds of winning it. What do you think the odds of winning a March Madness bracket might be?
Any bracket?
Yeah, getting a perfect bracket.
Oh, a perfect bracket.
Yeah, I'm sorry, perfect bracket.
I'm going to flip that one to Nick. He's a numbers guy.
Oh, I'm a numbers guy. How many teams are in March Madness?
64.
Oh my God.
So I'm guessing the odds of having a perfect bracket are like 2 billion to 1.
Close.
2 billion. Okay. All right. Let me think.
Pressure's on now.
No. 4.6 billion to 1.
That's you guys are very close. You're off by quite a few quintillion.
Yeah. I knew as soon as you said that, I was like, all right, he's messing with us.
Yeah, odds of winning, getting a perfect bracket are 1 in 9.2 quintillion.
Oh my God.
So if you put like $1 on your bracket to be perfect and you hit it, what do you win?
Yeah, you win just whatever.
Who's got to pay that out? Like,
Yeah,
we
I don't know.
got to go to James Cameron over in New Zealand, and he's going to pay out our brackets or what?
They probably like the sports books probably don't like take that wager, because if it happens one time in the history of mankind, like the economy implodes.
No, yeah, it's not that your betting odds are 1 to 9 quintillion, but those are the odds of you actually getting a correct bracket. I forgot what company does. They do like the $1 million challenge of, you know, anyone can put in a bracket, and if whoever gets a perfect bracket wins $1 million.
Wait, I can't remember. Does college basketball, is it one game moves on, or is it a series?
This is March Madness is one and done.
It's one and done tournament style.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was gonna say I think Kent State's out, right? Or do they win? Or no, Akron's out.
They might not have made the tournament. They're still figuring out some seeds right now.
Oh, okay.
So
who's your top 3? What do you guys got?
No, I don't know about that. I don't want to go into that. No one knows.
Well, not
No one
Kent
knows.
State.
Yeah.
Not Kent State.
I'm putting out. I got Kentucky with you, Gonzaga, Kent State, and Toledo. That's what I got.
Yeah, Kentucky's a good gamble to go with. But UCLA, doing some studying here, UCLA has won the most tournaments with 11 titles.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
They won 10 under Coach John Wooden and 7 in a row from 1967 and 1973. So maybe these stats are a little skewed, but overall they've won the most.
I got a feeling NC State is going to go deep this year. Just got a feeling. They're on the other side, and then on the other side I see Houston's number 1 seed. Bottom of the bracket is Kennesaw State. Wherever the hell that is.
I wonder if there's any basketball fans that are screaming at their radio right now at us. They're like, you idiots.
I'm picking North Carolina as my wild card, Baylor, and Texas. To one of those three is going to make it to the finals and win. We should have a Velocity Chaos pool.
Maybe we get
Weekly
one started.
Chaos pool.
I'd
We'll
have
have
to
one
look
for
at,
each.
Yeah, look at the bracket here, figure out what college basketball really is, and go from there.
Understand the basic concepts of basketball and how it works.
Just one thing before we move on. If you are filling out a bracket, here's some facts. So lowest seed to ever win was an 8 seed, Villanova, in 1985. So if you're picking your winner, you might not want to go higher than an 8 seed. In 2008 was the only year that all 4 number 1 seeds ended up in the Final Four. So unlikely that the Final Four is going to be the 4 best seeded teams. So be wary of that. And then a number 5 seeded team has never won. 3 have made it to the final match, but no number 5 seed has won.
What about a number
Could
6
you imagine? Yeah. You get slated, you get ranked number 5, and you're just like, go home, guys. Just pack up the bus. Just forget it. We're just fodder for somebody else on their way to victory.
Oh my goodness.
If one last fact here, and we can move on, is Cleveland's own. I don't know if he was from Cleveland, but he played with Cleveland 9 out of his 11 professional years. Austin Carr,
Okay.
Cleveland Cavalier and announcer, or color commentator, set an all-time tournament record with the high score points of 61, which stands to this day.
Woo.
So
Wow.
So if you see someone
Go
higher than
Cleveland.
61,
Seeing you, Austin Carr. Way to represent Cleveland, buddy. Well, moving on from those fortunes and fame and those bold winnings, I want to take it over to Power Sports News with DJ. I want to talk about Supercross again. Let's loop it all back. We got Nick's riding his bike over there. Hit it with the 2-stroke. Wing, wing. Want to do a little Supercross recap. And not so much, not going to go through every stat this week, but I want to talk about round 9 Indianapolis. So with our main event winners, we finally had Ken Roxon came in with his very first win of the season. Ken Roxon's it's been crazy. He's one of those guys I was telling you about. He's been racing since I got into the sport, came in really young, but and he's been a champion before, but he has been digging really hard. He's been going through different contracts, getting new bikes. That's the thing with it's like NASCAR, everyone's got a sponsorship.
Formula 1.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Everyone, exactly. Formula 1, they always change teams. Kenny Roxon started out the season kind of shaky. No one knew what team he was going to go with. His contract was up. Everything changed. And he was he was trolling everybody. He was trying everybody out. But he finally got his number 1 podium finish in the main event. So that was cool. But one thing I kind of want to spin to, so Kenny Roxon got the number 1. Justin Barcia got number 2. And Cooper Webb followed it up for the 3rd spot of the weekend. One thing I kind of want to dabble on that we can all comment on here is that down in the 250s, the 250 class, 250 cc's like we talked about before, little smaller bikes. One thing that's a really hot topic in Supercross right now is Hayden Deegan. Hayden Deegan, if you recognize the last name Deegan, it's because you probably heard of his old man, Brian Deegan. He's one of the biggest names in freestyle motocross ever. I mean, if Travis Pastrana's the golden boy, Brian Deegan's the bad boy. You know what I mean? He's the Metal Militia. He's always going hard. If you like freestyle motocross, you've heard of Brian Deegan. So, but nice. Hayden Deegan, his son, is now racing professionally in Supercross, and everyone was kind of like, we don't know about this kid. We don't know what's going to go on with him. Is he going to fall up? Is he going to be good as a racer? Is he kind of going to be rough and tumble? And honestly, he's performing pretty well. I think he's in 6th in the overall points for the year. And
nice.
People are already talking about they're like, next year this kid's going to be top 1, 2, 3, no problem. And I mean,
cool.
Oh, wow.
I just want to talk about that, how gnarly it is that your old man was a professional athlete and now you're in those shoes. I mean, we see it a lot, but could you imagine?
That's
generational talent is cool.
Yeah, for sure. That's crazy. Just to imagine, one, like you said, the expectations of following in your father's footsteps or your parent, so be it, whatever, what it might be. Just to live up to that, and everyone's saying that you have Ken Griffey Jr., stuff like that. They actually got to play on the same team, which is awesome. That's something
amazing.
LeBron's trying to do too with his son. That's cool, but that's a wonderful, wonderful thing.
I hope LeBron pulls it off. It could be difficult with the way the NBA is structured, but they're always cool narratives, I think, and who knows how good Bronny's going to be, but he seems like he could potentially be a staple. Maybe not a breakout star. Certainly doesn't seem as legendary as his dad, but if he plays 12 years in the NBA, that's a good run and serves on teams and does a good job. That'd be cool.
That's true.
I think.
Yeah, and then the other thing is Bronny's still growing. He's 18, 19, so he might still spurt up another inch or two. Who knows? Put on some extra weight.
Yeah.
His dad's 6'7" in the mid 200s. Like he's built like a tank.
That's insane. That's insane.
True.
Oh, and that's one of those things I was just like talking about, like Brian Deegan, Hayden Deegan, or any like athlete, like you want to follow up your father, your parent, whatever it is. I think you always want to do something that sets yourself apart. And in this case, it's one of the funny things in this sport is Brian Deegan, when he won his first Supercross race, he ghost rided his bike across the finish line. He literally came across the finish line and just jetted it out in front of him. And Brian Deegan wasn't a Supercross champion, mind you. Like he was like he's done some of the most mind-boggling freestyle motocross tricks. So like now this is Hayden's chance to be like, I want to be a champion. Like, but everyone goes, are you gonna ghost ride your bike across the finish line? You know what I mean? Like, are you gonna stand apart? Or are you gonna do something ridiculous? And they're like. They were saying that he's like, well, they're probably gonna fine me. They fined my dad $20,000 back then, and one of the commentators goes, "What's $20,000 to you? You're a professional racer."
Nice.
Does it count when the bike crosses? Do you finish, or is it when you cross? Do you finish?
I'm sure there's a handbook, but I tell you what, if I had to do it, I'd probably hit the finish line, ghost ride it, and then like put my hand across.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Jump across it with belly flop across the finish line. I broke the tape. I broke it. I can keep hanging out in sports world. Today, it was reported it's quarterback season right now. You know, everybody's trying to figure out what the big picks are the big vets are gonna land because their team's certainly hurting for it. Last week we talked about Derek Carr signing with the New Orleans Saints, and now you're looking at Aaron Rodgers is still making up his mind. Probably got to go back in the dark, but it looks like Jimmy G has found his forever home, or at least his next 3-year home. Jeff Howe reported for The Athletic, and Adam Schefter is confirming it that Jimmy G signed a 3-year deal for like $67.5 million with the Oakland Raiders. So they exported Carr. They're bringing in Jimmy, and man, I got to be honest with you. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is just the smartest quarterback right now. He has somehow managed throughout his career to never have significant expectations on him. He's hacked it. He's completely hacked it. Like Derek Carr going to the Saints, there will be expectations. There will be performance measurements. They will say, "What are you doing for us?" And Jimmy G is like going to replace that guy, and it's just going to be like smiling. Same grin on his face, just goofing off for $67.5 million. He'll win big, and then the rest of the time he'll lose averagely. So I just think he's the smartest quarterback in the NFL.
And not only is he the smartest, he's probably the most handsome. He's so handsome,
hands down, hands down.
Great flow on him. Good chin.
Yeah.
Great jaw.
Not hard when you got Macaulay Culkin played out of Cincinnati and. The guy from Eastbound and Down, playing in Kansas City. Like when we see those guys in the championships, Jimmy Garoppolo looks like freaking Brad Pitt.
That's true. That's true.
And he's also smart, keeping it in Southern California.
Yeah,
he's
stay
like,
warm.
I'm not going anywhere. Like, there's 3 teams out here. One of them's bound to need me.
That's the best way to do it. It's like you're saying he's got
Vegas. Sorry, I correct myself. Oakland's not. It's not the Oakland Raiders anymore. It's the Vegas Raiders.
Oh yeah,
I almost forgot.
You've been born and bred with it, and that's the best way to look at it too. It's like you said, coming in as a backup is the best. You're like, well, everyone else messed up. What am I gonna do? Oh, you know what I mean? But like, he's got nothing to worry about. He's gonna do fine.
Yeah,
he might have upgraded. Yeah. Set the bar low. Set the bar low. Throw the ball high.
Classic.
Yeah, there's a lot of hot quarterbacks now. Like the whole thing with Lamar Jackson, like he's on the hot plate too.
Oh yeah,
they franchise tagged him for like $30 million, and
it's a joke.
That's the thing. It's like it's possible. It's a franchise with exclusion or something, so other teams can make an offer, and then the Ravens can
match it.
Choose to match. Yeah. So.
It was weird they couldn't figure that out. They could have had him locked up. They could have come to the table, and him being a little injured, for a little bit of the season was just like that was the perfect time to get him in a room and just be like, what do you want? What do you need? How do we continue to keep this franchise healthy? Because for a second there, Baltimore every single year they were Super Bowl contenders, and now it seems like they're in a bit of a tailspin.
Yeah. Yep, that and hopefully the Browns are reaping all the benefits of a torn AFC North division.
We should just get a bunch of quarterbacks and fill out our entire team that way.
All
It's
quarterbacks.
like all QBs. Like, we'll just everyone retire. Come here.
Everyone's throwing.
Everyone's
a threat.
done. It's just lateral pass, lateral pass, lateral
Just
pass.
rifling laterals. Just constant.
Just Nick Chubb on the field. It's just like 10 quarterbacks. Like,
And then you just send one wide receiver down the field sneaking behind everyone, and then one guy that can bomb it 100 yards. Bam, every time.
We don't know where the ball's coming from, but we know it's coming. Oh, geez.
One thing, so let's move on here to I don't know what this is music technology here. It's a little blast from the past. So I recently saw an article that said vinyl records for the first time since 1987 outsold CDs in the U.S. So in 2022, they finally outsold CDs.
Hipsters, man.
Bunch of hipsters.
Bunch of hippies. Is that for real? Gosh, I don't even remember the last time I've played a CD. I think I keep one floating in my car just in case like my Bluetooth goes out. So I can pop it in, just play one on loop. That's craziness.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like CD players are getting phased out. They're not in cars anymore. It's all streaming, and there's no more Walkman. There's no more boom boxes with CD players. It's all
Boom
Bluetooth
boxes.
speakers.
So
maybe they're gonna start putting record players back in cars again.
maybe
It's taking up the whole dashboard. You just gotta put the little
just
guys.
backpack record players. You're just like carrying it around. It's like it's spinning on the back. The thing that I always hated about CDs with like the Walkman and stuff was you're walking or you're running, and if you have like even a slightly scratched disc and the little jiggle, it's just like, I don't know, you're listening to She's in Uptown Girl.
the lie that is an anti-skip device.
Shiny world.
yeah. You got was it like 40 seconds? Once you play for 40 seconds, and it won't skip.
Yeah, you gotta play it. You gotta skip back. And then it's like, but then you would have like the cheap Chinese ones that had like the little switch. You're like, this is an anti-skip device. Like, no, it's not.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's
shut up.
Tires.
So you got to like stop your run. You got to open it up.
Yeah.
By the way, the people who were running with a Discman.
Right. Yeah. Then along came the iPod Touch.
Strap that to your arm and
Yeah.
just strap your arm.
So just overall, streaming was 84% of the total value or the
Wow.
music income. So it's still the leader at 13.3 billion, of course. But as far as physical copies go, vinyl takes the cake over CDs. 1.7 billion of the physical copies. In physical copies, and then 1.2 billion for vinyl. So then the other was CDs or
A year?
for last year, yeah. So
Wow,
there's
that's still a lot of units.
exactly. That's what I was surprised about is how many are still being sold.
Which is wild because
Oh,
I think everyone now I've been seeing it's been a big like gift thing.
Mhm.
I've had shout out Mikey out there. He sent me one for my birthday a couple years ago. One of my favorite albums, Forest Hills Drive by J. Cole. But like I have a couple of friends in New York. Nick and I actually know a couple guys out there. They play vinyls all the time. I mean, it's just they'd rather at home. If you're gonna be like, what's the difference? I mean, if you just want some guys like that sound, I guess.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nostalgic. And then one thing before we move on is I thought this was an interesting little tidbit is Taylor Swift. She was the highest selling artist last year with 1.7 million vinyl records sold.
Oh my god.
That's crazy.
Were they all pink?
I don't know. I don't know.
Purple. I don't know.
All those girls just in their room, just like guys and girls, I guess, and just like in their room, like with the vinyl, just like, just Ben and Jerry's taste so good. Hey, I love you, Tay.
The Swifties. That's what they call them.
The Swifties,
The
right?
Swifties.
The
She probably
Get
cornered
Swifty.
that. Yeah, get Swifty with Shifty. Well, moving on from there, let's take it outside of our wheelhouse. Let's get away from Taylor Swift. She probably doesn't go to Africa too often, which is a good thing because apparently Africa is splitting in two.
What?
Yeah, I just read this. This could, I mean, this borderline's clickbait, but it's there's legitimacy. There's some news outlets out there. Africa is actually experiencing a tectonic rift in the East African Rift Valley. So if you look at Africa on a map, this shenanigans here, and we're looking at the east side, little lower east side. They're actually going to be shaving off a bit.
They're gonna be shaving off a bit.
That's right. And it's
just a little fade, a little off the top, off the top.
Yeah, pack your bags, Africa. You better move because Africa's moving too. No,
oh my God.
Actually, scientists have said it's just been something that's been popping up in my news feed lately. Scientists have been saying that it's going to take, I think, over 1 million years for it to happen. But they are, that being said, they are experiencing crevices forming across Africa. Like these bigger shifts are happening. There'll be earthquakes, what have you, and there's these giant what do they call them? Caverns are forming, and they're saying that the ocean will fill this in and actually split the continent in two.
I know something that'll fill it in.
What is it?
The ocean.
Okay.
Sand.
No,
Sand.
I heard something too that the Tigris and Euphrates are kind of drying up or something, and these previously unknown caverns are now showing themselves, and then that in the Revelations in the Bible, that's where the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse come from. So people are saying that the Tigris and Euphrates drying up is just a sign of the end of the world.
It's where the scorpions come from our scorpion films.
Yeah.
It's gonna be just like in the movies. Like one little baby one's gonna come out and they're like, oh, that's all it is. It's just one scorpion. They lied to us, and then just like the 200-footer is gonna come calling.
That's not a horse. It's not a horse.
Meanwhile, Africa's like, yeah, I got showed up again.
Yeah.
We're not even gonna be here in 1 million years. Like, come on. Like, Africa will take care of itself.
Hey man, we said that, and then trains started getting derailed. But I digress.
That's the next 2012 movie. Africa Tectonic. It's like the #1 at the box office with $45 million in week 3.
Yeah.
It's another movie about Brad Pitt running.
He's just trying to hold them together.
Spider-Man shows up.
Spider Pit.
Spider Pit. Keeping it in the natural world, I guess. I can do that for a second. I saw a really cool article that the government is going to be investing $25 million into bison restoration. So, as we all know, as Americans, they were once our iconic largest mammal on the continent, and they used to just roam in hundreds of thousands of animals across the western plains of America. And then at the turn of the century, between the 1800s and 1900s, by that point they were almost completely extinct just because of the sport of hunting buffalo. And I remember seeing a picture one time of little or giant stack of the skulls, and it was a lot of waste and a lot of just decimation. And they got down to 100 individuals of wild bison, and that's when Theodore Roosevelt and the Secretary of the Interior was just like, whoa, hey, we can't lose this icon. We've done so much damage to not only our natural wildlife, but also to the culture of the Native American people, and their close symbiotic relationship with the buffalo. And so they just started to working it back and preserving land and putting buffalo on it. And I guess we're up to 15,000 wild buffalo. But then in 2008, Barack Obama declared them our national mammal, which is cool. So you got the bald eagle and the bison,
That's dope.
Tag teaming, just running, gunning. I'm going to start doing that, using America and take the bison and put it on stuff.
Yeah.
And just have his buddy the eagle flying around him. We should make that an animated series.
Yeah, I'd
Baldy
watch
and
that one.
bison.
Yeah.
That should be the new opening of the show. The bison sits down and the bald eagle screeches in, lands on his horn.
Yeah.
Just,
Baldy and Buff. Baldy and Buff. That's what we're gonna call it.
It's an offshoot of Rocky and Bullwinkle.
I was gonna say I'm not one of those people against hunting in particular. I got friends that hunt,
Sure.
but I feel like the way you talk about us rallying behind the bison, the only way you should be able to hunt it is full tilt on horseback, bow and arrow style, dances with wolves. And if you don't, and that's the other thing is if you hunt the bison, you have to cut the liver out and eat it raw right then. Just This again, Dances with Wolves, Kevin
Just
Costner,
DiCaprio-
all
DiCaprio
over. Yeah,
style.
DiCaprio, Kevin Costner, get the blood on your cheeks.
While it's still warm, yeah.
Yeah, man, Tatanka, you know. So
Yeah. Well, it's cool because part of the group, they're assembling essentially this super team of restorationists and naturalists, and so they're getting people from the Secretary of Interior's office and some parks and wildlife people, and then they're getting some tribal leaders as well, and they're creating this like unit that's solely focused on figuring out how to environmentally and economically and socially like create a space for the buffalo who need vast tracts of land to just their natural habitat is just the wide open prairie. So I thought that was cool. And also knowing that they're our national mammal. Humans are no longer America's national mammal.
classic.
Dang. We're going to have to kill all the bison then.
I thought you were going to say we're going to have to just kill all the humans. Like, if you're not in the number one spot, you don't get the population sway.
We'll be back on top soon enough. Mark my words. Because we got that extra life. I want to move into this. Some video game information that I just found out here is speedrunners. You got to know speedrunners. Speedrunners do all sorts of weird, insane, crazy stuff. They find out new routes and maneuvers and glitches to get through the game way faster than the creators ever intended. So it's a lot of effort and energy that they put into this. And in Super Mario 64, there was a thought to be impossible 1-up. It's an extra life that is thought to be impossible to get without dying. So there's a way to get it, but you die getting it. So it's like, why get it anyways? So this green mushroom, it's in the Mario world, is a 1-up. And this one, it's on Cool Mountain, down some like slide slope thing, and as soon as it spawns, it falls into the ground or into the floor. So you can't get it without like coming from the side. And I'll put a link into a tweet from Turb from Turbine. I don't know how to say his name, but Turb. For short, he shows how to get all the 1-ups on the level, doing all these flips and tricks and everything, and he shows getting it but dying right after, like falling into the abyss. So it's like, what's the point of that? But then there's this other guy, Palix, who used a technology assisted support. I think TAS. It is. I apologize.
Whoa! These like 64 cheat codes, like. I don't know, man. I can't get behind that.
That's the thing. So it's a tool assisted video. It's a series of jumps back and forth on this wall. I watched the video and it's just like yahoo, 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 and it's speeding up, yahoo, 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 yahoo. And you can see the computer thing going, like all the buttons that it's pushing. It's hitting jump like really quick, but it's yahoo, yahoo. It's like, I'm having a seizure. And then this takes 3 hours for him to do.
He ramps it up.
It shoots through the wall, phases through, and then like has enough speed to get the 1-up before it disappears.
Oh
so it's
my gosh.
So it's technically still something that hasn't been done by a human, but it is possible, I suppose, to get.
I mean, okay, if you're gonna give us a spectacle, fine, but as a machine, I just picture like one of those robots that they train to like jump and do crazy stuff, and just sitting in a laptop, all just like pressing it 100 times.
Oh boy.
Perfect advertisement for Yoo-hoo, because like by the end of it, it turns from Yahoo to Yoo-hoo, and it's just like you gotta have the power of Yoo-hoo to get the 1-up.
Yeah, and that's,
I was gonna say maybe that's a lesson for life. Who knew that Mario's teaching us life? You know, you spend all this time pursuing one goal, one thing. And, you know, you went down trying. Maybe it was about the journey. It wasn't about that one extra life.
It wasn't about that at all.
Yeah, just teaching us.
You keep slapping walls. Until you get to the 1-up.
Or build robot fingers. I don't know. I mean, you got me thinking about robots now.
Yeah, apply your lesson to this next topic.
All right, Rivian and the economy.
You're screwed.
I'll do my best. I only know so much about Amazon. Me and Jeff Bezos don't hang that much. But taking it over to the auto world, technology world, bringing it into the robot land. Rivian, as some of us know, I don't know if you guys know, is a electric vehicle company. Their one big claim to fame is the Rivian truck. You're seeing some of them permeate now, starting to come out, and they're supposed to be really high performance vehicles. But anyway, one of the biggest things with EVs is the commercial world. I'm talking about Amazon. They have vans everywhere. You guys order your toothpaste and your junk and your dildos, whatever. I don't know. So you get those in those vans. Well, Rivian had a contract with Amazon to deliver, I believe, it was 100,000 vans. And the one thing, and again, this is where maybe I'm not so educated on this, but they had an exclusivity contract with Amazon. So Amazon's going to order this stuff, but you only make vans for Amazon for X amount of time. So, I mean, right now, I guess they're going back and trying to negotiate that and maybe change it up because I'm sure there's probably other humans or people that want to order that. Yeah. But I think about how that you have these huge companies. If you started a business, we started the Velocity Chaos podcast, or you guys started it, brought me in, but you guys tell me you can only DJ for the Velocity Chaos podcast, which that's all I want to do.
Yeah,
but,
right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know where your bread's coming from, okay? You know where you're gonna eat. You know where your head's laying down, okay? I don't need you to go wandering out getting ideas about other people, other dreams. This is your dream, and you're gonna enjoy it.
That's all I have. That's all I know. That's the only place. This is the only place where they feed me. Help.
We'll just edit that later. Don't worry about it. Anything else on that? I think it's pretty cool. I mean, like Rivian it's good to have competition. So Rivian kind of like making a play against Tesla and giving them a run for their money is actually pretty cool. I mean, it's good.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's neat. I think it's a smart business move for signing up for a company like that. Selling 100,000 vans, what I've sold maybe 3 or 4 cars in my lifetime. You know what I mean? So it's probably a smart business move. But yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of other places they want to expand. I mean, Lamborghini did it with his tractors. So, I think that's an interesting thing. Is we're so focused on our daily lives and how we operate financially. We're worried about paying our bills. And I always like to look at major economy motions, whether I'm educated on them or not, to just see that there's somebody thinking about millions and millions of dollars moving on just one product.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How do you manage that 3 years in the future? Are you taking a guess? So I think it was interesting. So.
The thing is, I guess it would be safety or comfort or security knowing that, okay, we have to make 100,000 vehicles for Amazon for the next, 5 years, X amount of years, whatever their contract was. But they know, hey, we can employ these many people to get this done. We have job security for X amount of years for this amount of delivery of products. So I think it's not that bad, right? I mean, I guess unless you're thinking that you can make more, then go do that. But I guess it depends on the size of the company.
Sounds like not a bad gig.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like your point, though, about the economy stuff. And I could segue into my last topic. So I'm down here, South by Southwest, mostly for the film section of the festival. And it's been really cool and a lot of cool people down here. But it has a big tech component as well and a big music component to the festival. And the tech component was interesting because, as a lot of us know, when this episode comes out, last Friday, there was the closure of Silicon Valley Bank. It's got a lot of people spooked and a lot of people worried. And that is kind of an overarching dark cloud here because a lot of people come here for startup money and some angel investing. And a lot of what Silicon was doing was that sort of investing. And so it's just been the CEO of Silicon Valley Bank was in Austin when the news broke Friday morning. And I talked to some people and they're like, expect to find that guy's body by Sunday, like washed up on the lake.
Was he in a movie when he was watching it? He's just like in the front row and it's like, I love you, John. I love you too, Sal. Damn it, my bank closed.
Now that you mention it, I was watching this really sad drama about about a librarian falling in love with a book. And that did happen. I thought it was just my imagination, though. No, but just one other thing that was really cool. This is different than Economy, but in some ways it is. Everything Everywhere All at Once was one of the highest grossing films last year, highest independent grossing films last year. I've talked about it on the show a couple times, even from the box office report standpoint. And it won the Oscar for Best Picture on Sunday night, which is just absolutely, I believe, well-deserved. And a lot of the performers also won. We talked about Ki-Hui Kwan, who won the SAG Award as well. He won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. But it was really cool because it premiered at South by Southwest almost a year to the day that it won the Oscars. So it was really cool to kind of see that and feel that energy. And the whole crew seemed just really thankful and grateful. So I thought that was really kind of nice. We watched it from a bar with a couple other industry colleagues, and it was cool to be around movies watching the Oscars. So that happened over the weekend as well.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, I actually know a couple people that got shouted out in was the Spirit Awards for that film. What's the actor's name? It's Kwan is the last name?
Yeah, Ki-Hui Kwan.
Yeah, he actually shouted out. He took a minute at the Spirit Awards to just shout out some of the production assistants. So shout out Logan and Connor, old roommates. But
wow,
it's really cool. I watched his acceptance speech and just see how humble a person is in that position. You know what I mean? You again, he was chasing the one up. That was his Oscar, but he did get it. He didn't fall into the valley.
Not dying.
He needed an extra life.
Yeah, man.
And he got it.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic.
Harrison Ford, we might as well chat about the Oscars really quickly, but Harrison Ford presented the Oscar for Best Picture, and Indiana Jones and Short Round were reunited on the stage, and it was for me, growing up on those movies, I thought it was pretty emotional, and they were hugging and not just oh, hey, how's it going? They were just embracing and enjoying that moment together, and shedding some tears of that little reunion. And I thought that was just so classy that was, they played the odds that would happen, right? And it worked out, and big payoff, big emotional payoff. And then Brendan Fraser won for Best Actor, which he also probably really needed that little gold statue, just for his own mental health. A lot of other great technical awards, but we don't have to go down the list. I'm sure you can find them online.
Yeah, that's just nice for Harrison Ford and Short Round. I'm not even saying his name because I don't know it. I'm sorry, but just to have that after 20, 30 years of reconnecting in both being successful and getting appreciated for what they're doing. That's just nice to see that and to have that happen.
Definitely fantastic.
Reunions are special. But, man, guys, all those topics, it got me really, really excited. It made me want to stand up, run around, throw spaghetti at the wall. But I didn't, and I won't because I'm in a library. Because I'm also sitting in chair. Chair is a piece of modern technology that has been scientifically crafted over centuries and now has been mastered to perfectly fit your tushy. Nothing has ever been kinder to your keister, nothing is more benevolent to your bottom, and nothing less painless to your anus. Chair is there to support you when you need it most. You can use chair as a seat, a shelf, or even a clothes rack. There are so many possibilities to the uses of chair that you'd be a real butthead if you didn't take advantage of this deal on chair. Buy one chair and get 3 free, but only if you use the code VCC at checkout. Even if you don't want the other 3 chairs, they will send them anyways because one chair is just too lonely. This is not an actual product service idea. Just in case you thought it was, it's not. If there's anything out there with the same name, we are unaware and have no affiliation, offer no judgment on the actual product, service, or idea.
Boom, here we are into our clickbait headlines segment here of the Weekly Chaos. And what I want to hit you guys with is the headline of Cloudy with a Chance of Bait. I don't know if you guys, Nick, if you want to take a stab at that one real quick.
Can I get it one more time?
Cloudy with a Chance of Bait.
There was a a water devil or whatever they call those open sea tornadoes, water spout, and got too close to shore and pulled in Jack's Bait Shack, and all the chum and all the worms and all all the lures got flung around the beach, and people had chicken guts all over them and in their smoothies, and worms were hanging out people's ears, and people got new piercings and body parts they didn't expect to.
Quite possible. DJ Showtime, can you top that with accuracy or extravagance?
Oh, accuracy, definitely. It's I got this one. This is an everyday tale. This is an every man's tale even. And this is a story about Jerry. And Jerry was he was gonna go work out in the yard, but it's a little cloudy out, and his lady thinks that they're gonna sit and snuggle up on the couch and watch everything everywhere all at once. But you know what's going to happen all at once? He's going fishing, baby, and it's cloudy. There's a chance of bait today, boys.
You know that's right. So this story, Nick was actually not possibly far off. We don't know the true source. So this is a story that comes from China. There is a road, and the video just shows tons of worms covering the city street, like just worms falling down on everyone, everything, everywhere, all at once.
This had to have been South Korea then, right?
So yeah, this was just a city street, an area that just got covered with worms. Or so it seemed. It looks like, on the video, it looks like there's worms everywhere, and that's what the headline said, that the street covered in worms. But upon further review, people, or more professionals or scientists, are saying that's just Mother Nature doing its thing, and it's possibly a tree.
What thing?
It's possibly the tree, like some stems of a tree, or it's like a poplar tree, and there's just these little wispy things that fall off, got caught up in like some wind, high gusty winds, and got blown everywhere. But it looks, it's disgusting if you think they're worms.
I was going to say they're like falling too from the sky. That'd be awesome. There are worms everywhere.
So yeah, that's the story. It was a case of misidentity, you know.
That's amazing.
Don't be a hero, mate. You look after your mates, and your mates will always look after you. Yeah, cheers.
Yeah, cheers. It is. This is the segment with Aussie News, where we go down to the land down under and check in with our island nation friends. We just love the news out of Australia, and it just keeps getting better. In this week's segment, a Canberra girl's message in a bottle, launched more than 2 years ago, washes up 300 kilometers south of Jervis Bay. I think this is actually kind of cool. Using a glass bottle, first of all, she was responsible. Didn't use a plastic bottle, and she just wrote a cute letter put it in a bottle when she was 10 years old, and gave it to her dad, who's he's in the Australian Navy. And just last week, this guy Scott was at the beach and found this bottle with a bunch of barnacles on it, and thought it was just some trash, but then noticed inside there was a piece of paper, and so he unsealed it, checked the letter, read it. She had left her dad's phone number in it. And so this one dad to another dad calls this guy, and it's like, hey, I found this cool bottle. I showed my kids. They were excited. And the other dad was like, oh, like, great. My daughter's 13 now. Like, we should all just talk on the phone. And it was just like this really warm story of two families connecting. But even deeper than that, the guy who found it, he's ex-Navy. So it was like this kind of cool little military connection, and veteran finding another guy and his family just through this kind of random act. So it was just out there floating for 3 years, and the guy who found the bottle, he actively like seeks out rubbish on the beach or when he goes snorkeling and pulls it out and throws it away and disposes of it to keep the natural wildlife there a little cleaner. So just outstanding people. Outstanding. I can't say more than that.
Yeah, that's incredible. One, to write a letter and do that, like you said, responsibly in a glass bottle. You know, it's gonna get recycled either way somewhere. Maybe it's gonna break down, but I think that's just an adorable thing for a daughter to do. But at first I thought you said 200 years ago. And I was like, dang, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
The ghost of daughters past.
what are the chances? I mean, you probably got a better chance of a perfect bracket in March Madness. That's for sure.
That's 1 in 9 quintillion.
If I could save time in a bottle.
Boy, Jim right there.
No, what's up?
That's hilarious. Like finding a letter like that, I actually found, so little digression is a buddy of mine, it was my friend's cousin. We all hung out at his house. This was, 20, 25 years ago when we were youngins, sleep over. And we, we were hit it off, cool dudes hanging out. We're kids. And then, so over the summer, he wrote me a letter, like in the mail. I got it in the mail. I don't remember back then, but cleaning, I was moving and I going through some stuff and I find this letter and it's from Steve, like, oh, and he drew a picture of Garfield on it. So like, that was just,
that's rad.
So like something like this that just warms my heart, like that they're gonna be able to cherish this years down the road.
It's not
300 kilometers. 300 kilometers is with conversion definitely more than 7 miles. But it's just people reaching out to other people and connecting through the void. Really.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's all I got. That's incredible.
I mean, that just goes to show you that in life you can do something for whatever, you could do something that's genuine. You can do something that's sweet. You can do something that's kind. You can do something that's appropriate and respectful of the world around you. You can go out there in your 100,000 electric trucks. You can go out there. You can lose your bank. You can go out there and you could get mad. You could get wild. You can get crazy. You can lose your worms everywhere, all over the street. There's so many things that can happen. But if you try hard enough, if you jump off the wall enough times, you're gonna get that extra life without losing your current life that you're on. And all the things that you've gone through, all the trials and tribulations that you've been through before, it won't matter because Africa's splitting in two and it's the end of the world. I don't know what else to do about it. I'm totally freaking out, man. I'm freaking out.
All right. Well, that does it for this episode of the Weekly Chaos. It has been a fun time. Glad I could make it in from Austin. I just want to thank DJ Showtime for running the board and stepping in this week for doing our open.
Hey man, it's always a good time, and thanks for letting me warm up your chair a little bit. I'm liking it over here.
Keep it safe for me. Keep the mic nice and polished up. But hey, I'll be back in the studio. We'll be rocking and rolling. More Weekly Chaos, more Velocity Chaos podcast, more shorts, more everything, and it's going to be really, really good. So, guys, looking forward to seeing you soon. And to all you out there, we'll see you on the next one. This is Nick signing off.
And this is Luke signing off. Thank you guys once again. Follow us, like us, share us, comment. Let us know what you want to hear about next week, this week, anytime in between. But like we always say, it's raining worms. Hallelujah. Have a good one.
That was the Weekly Chaos, brought to you by the Velocity Chaos podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in and getting your weekly dose of news updates. Make sure to check us out on all your favorite social media platforms at Velocity Chaos Pod and podcast at velocitychaos.com. As always, we appreciate your support. Please tell a friend, and thank you once again.